Hello and welcome back to Let's Go, and today we're going to be answering the question, should you be buying a fork suspension, as you can see here, or the Sharkset suspension? But before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to the amount of supporters that I have out there, and for all those that are watching. We're near our 1,000 subscriber target, and I'll be giving away 4 fork suspensions to 4 lucky subscribers, so stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can win yours. So back to the question. Well, it really depends. Let's address the elephant in the room, the price. Sharkset is not the cheapest. It does come in at $200, which can set your scooter fund back a little bit. I actually purchased mine with PayPal with 3 interest-free installments. This is the most affordable way that I could fund the suspension. So when you're comparing it to the fork suspension, you're actually getting better quality materials and better features. The fork suspension does come in at around $100 including shipping, but the quality may vary upon when you receive it, and you may not receive a kickstand with that. With Sharkset you do get a branded and well packaged box, super easy installation, it's around an hour to do. RGB lights with all the wiring harness there. That is probably the hardest bit of the installation to do. You're going to get 3 sets of 2 springs, so you're going to get soft, medium and hard for all the different types of riders out there, whichever's your preference. And you're going to get high quality tools in the box. When it comes to changing over the springs, it takes less than 10 minutes to do. I've done it in 5 minutes. You only need one 5mm hex key, which comes in the box. The fork suspension, on the other hand, I will leave a link right here, comes in just a plain box with bubble wrap and no tools in there. And you'll find that your results may vary in terms of the quality of the metals. So mine actually came with a nick on the front here and some scoring marks on the surface here as well. Comes with just the pre-installed springs within the barrel, and to adjust them you have to have a really long extension to go down in there to take them out, and there's very little adjustment. One thing you will have to factor in when you do purchase the fork suspension, you will have to look at, if you don't have your own tools, to purchase those as well. They're not expensive, but that's just another factor that you have to bring into it, where the Sharkset already has its own tools to do the job if you don't have any. As for the styling on both of them, the Sharkset actually comes out on top with the highlights that match the aesthetics of the Max, and it's fully painted. So as you can see on the fork, it's bare metal here and under here, so you're actually getting, even where it's painted around here, you're getting some rusting when you take it out on the road. You may want to actually buy some rust proofing paint, or protect this yourself so that it will last you much longer. So there's another factor that you will have to put into that. The Sharkset on the other hand is fully painted and it is rust proof as well. Obviously if you're going to get any nicks in the paintwork, it may have rusting over time. That is yet to be seen. On the Sharkset, the RGB really does add a little bit more magic to your Max, and it does turn heads out there. I would say the downside to this is it adds a little bit more complexity to the installation of the suspension on your Max, as you have to get right into the heart of your scooter and add some wiring in there. And with the new units that are being produced, they won't have the RGB installed into the sides, as some people didn't like that. So now they're going to ship it out with all the wiring in the box so you can put it together yourself, which means you're probably going to have to go out and buy a hot glue gun if you haven't already got one, and you're probably going to have to go ahead and seal the holes within where the wires come out. If you don't seal it, water or moisture can get into the LED strips and cause a short in there, and there may be issues with your controller down the line. The forks are as simple as they come, with only a half black finish and silver pipes, as you can see here. There's not much really to say about it, apart from maybe add some extra paint. They do their job and provide much needed comfort for those journeys if you're not willing to spend that extra $100 on the Sharkset. However, the springs are definitely harder when you hit those bigger potholes, and you're going to feel that jerk, and it's quite a big jerk sometimes. They do well predominantly on smaller ruts, smaller cracks, that sort of thing, mainly for just the city driving. When it comes to the ride quality, Sharkset, with its dual spring setup and its C-type arm, actually improves stability as well as absorbing those larger bumps. I'm around 85 kilos, and the majority of my testing was done on the soft springs. And I tried to go over every bump and curb I could, just to get a good amount of testing in such a short time. And I found that the soft springs were actually perfect for cushioning those hard bumps, even when I had my son on, which he comes along for a ride with me occasionally. And that brought us to near, 100k. So they never let me down, and they're rated up to 90k's, medium 90k to 100k, hard 100k onwards. The softer springs actually means that it's going to flop into those ruts a little bit easier, meaning that you're going to get more traction for longer periods of time as well. So if you're doing a lot of off-roading like I like to do, I can't wait for the weather to clear up and the mud to just go away so that I can get out there and fully test it off-road. It actually will help with traction there as well. So I did try out the medium springs too, which you can see here, which performed just as well. You can definitely tell the difference between the soft and the medium, as the medium does like to spring back to its original position a little bit more readily, which means that you do get a bit more of a jerk. So for my weight, for instance, it's a bit harsher. If you're a bit heavier, you're going to need it. And for smooth roads, it's better to have the harder springs for more stability. It really depends on the conditions that you're riding. So I would recommend the soft springs for the majority of users who want a smoother ride because of the harsh roads and who do like to do a little bit more off-roading. One question that has come up recently is, will my feet get wet on both of these suspensions? The Fork utilizes the stock fender, as you can see here, which does a great job at keeping the water off your feet and your legs. However, this does not stop the dirt getting to the underside of the battery area or the chassis. The Sharkset, on the other hand, actually comes with smaller fender pieces that you have to attach the front part yourself, and there is a small part on the rear, and you're relying on the C shape to actually protect your feet and your legs from getting wet. So some customers are saying that when they are taking their Sharkset out for a ride, that the water is going through the gaps where the suspension breaks up a little bit. However, there is somebody, I think it's Stefan, I will leave a link to his STL file. He has created a 3D printable cover that will fix that issue, no problem. Thank you very much to that person for creating a solution to a problem that shouldn't exist, but limitations. So in conclusion, the Sharkset Pros it is stylish. It does have the RGB in there with a remote control feature. It comes well built with good materials. There are 3 sets of springs in there for all types of riders, and they're quick and easy to swap out and also adjust. And it's smooth and stable. The cons it is expensive compared to the Forks. There are gaps in the fender that do allow water to get your feet in your trousers or pants if you're in America. And it is a little bit on the heavier side compared to the Fork. So I believe this is around 1.5 kilos, where the Sharkset is 2.3 kilos. And there is a little bit more to install on the Sharkset. The pros to the Fork suspension is it's lightweight compared to the Shark. It is cheaper, much cheaper, keeps water off your feet because it utilizes the stock fender, and it still is stable. The cons it is prone to rusting, as you can see here. It's not easily adjustable, so you're going to have to go into it to adjust it. There are no extra springs or tools that come in there, and the conditions may vary. So depending on where you buy it, you may get the kickstand, you may not get the kickstand, you may have to pay separately for that. The markings on there, so mine came with a couple of marks. It's kind of a lucky draw. So going back to the beginning of the video, we asked the question, which one should you buy? And my honest answer is, whichever one's in your budget really. They're both fit for the purpose and both worth the money, in my opinion. And this is my opinion. You've got your own opinion on that. However, my personal favourite right now is, you guys know it, it's the Sharkset. I've done a few videos on this now, and I love it. It's great riding, good comfortable riding, and I want the best comfort because I go out for longer journeys, especially now that spring is around the corner, summer's coming up. I want to get out there, I want to ride. That's what I want to do. But it all comes down to what you're doing with your scooter. Are you going off-road? Are you doing longer commutes? Are you just wanting to pimp your ride, really? It's a good thing, I've done that. I will do a short review on the rear suspension at some point. There is a little bit more testing to do, and I've got a video coming up of me swapping out the spring for the hard spring of the Sharkset, because I'm not going to be using that. I'm not heavy enough to be using that, but I'm going to swap the rear spring out, and hopefully that'll be fun. I've put the medium one in there for the time being. It's a little bit too soft, and I really want Sharkset to create the rear suspension, but I know that they've got other priorities at this point. If there is something in this video that I didn't cover that you would like covered, please do leave a comment down below and I will do my best to cover that for you. I will pop the relevant links in the description below, and if you like to get your hands on either the Sharkset or the Fork, the links will be there as well. The Sharkset, you can go to sharkset.com/shop and you can actually enter my personal coupon code to save $10 on your order. So as I said, the time that this video comes out, we should have had 1,000 subscribers, and that is where I'm going to pick 4 lucky winners to win the Fork suspension. So to win that, all you have to do is go over to my giveaway video, watch that video. Please go down into the comments in that video and comment on why you got your Sharkset suspension. If you like this video, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot and it keeps the channel growing, it keeps the community going. This is what this is about, it's a community. We're all helping each other. And we'll see you in the next one.